beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree.
Good morning and hello, everyone. I am Conrad Ayasi, and I have the privilege of serving on your Board of Trustees. I am a member of the Calgary Unitarians because I feel at home in your presence, and also because Sunday services help me to reconnect with my core values and give me an emotional lift along the way. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are on your personal journey of faith or search for meaning, you are truly welcome. If you are visiting or connecting for the first time, we are grateful to have you with us. We come together in beloved community to grow in wisdom, to welcome and deepen relationships, and to act for a just and sustainable world. We acknowledge that this meeting takes place on the traditional territories of the Siksika, of the skilled and brave people of the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, the Piikani, the Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina and Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki Bearspaw and Wesley First Nations of the 1877 Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. We acknowledge that we are all region people, and we are grateful to be living on this beautiful land. Today, there is one announcement. I want to draw your attention to our service next week. The focus of this service will be a 45-minute live concert on Zoom by the dynamic award-winning activist duo, Emma's Revolution. These two singers, Pat Humphries and Sandy O, write powerful songs about voters' rights, racism, poverty, and sexual harassment, among other themes. Emma's Revolution delivers the energy and the strength of their convictions in an uprising of truth and hope for these tumultuous times. Don't miss it. And be sure to invite your friends from the folk festival community to watch this live performance next Sunday. You could send them our Sunday service link to make it easier for them. And now over to Marcia for the chalice lighting.
We light our chalice this morning with the words from our prelude, One Tree, written by Abdul Baha, an early leader of the Baha'i faith. Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree.
Welcome. I am so glad that you have joined us this morning. I'm Lynn Nugent, member of the Calgary Unitarians, and I'm your service leader today. Reverend Deborah will return next Sunday. As we begin our service today, excuse me, I wish to thank the cast of thousands, well, maybe not quite thousands, but let's just say a lot of folks are involved in bringing this service to you this morning. Many thanks go to our AV team, Jim and Paul this morning, Mitch for helping with our rehearsal, Bob who puts our service on YouTube, Heather for managing coffee in the breakout rooms this morning, Ev for PowerPoint, Conrad for greetings from the board, Jane for bringing us music and song, Sheila for sharing from the Children and Youth Program, and Marcia for contributing her voice to the readings. Our reflections this morning come from Connie Waterman, a longtime member of the Baha'i Faith. I will introduce Connie more fully later on. Many of you are aware that Reverend Deborah and Reverend Samaya, who's a minister for the South Fraser congregation, and I are offering a World Religions program this year. Each month, we feature a speaker from the religion of the month. This month, we've been studying Baha'i. And we've participated in some spiritual exercises using their lovely combination of prayers to music to help us to lean in a bit to the Baha'i experience. You just heard an example of the prelude this morning. For those of you unfamiliar with Baha'i, the Baha'i faith is among the younger of the independent world religions and emphasizes, among other things, the unity in the human community. This was expressed in our prelude. Baha'i originated in Persia in the 19th century and now has members of the faith community worldwide. Although small in numbers in comparison to religions such as Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Baha'i members stand out as very active in multi-faith and social justice work. Our readings this morning will come from Baha'i writings, and the songs we will sing together are from our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Although there are differences in our faith traditions, in many ways, the Baha'i ethos aligns with that of Unitarian Universalism. And now to our music director, Jane Perry.
Thank you, Lynn, and good morning, everyone. Continuing on the theme of unity, we're going to sing a song from the Gray Unitarian Hymnal, and the song is Our World is One World. Let's sing together. Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts can hear a different call.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sheila McMaster, Director of Religious Education here at the Calvary Unitarians, and I wanted to show you some great things we have going on. One is my Christmas tree. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh, I'm so tired. This pandemic has been going on too long, and my Christmas tree is still up. And for me, I took down some of my Christmas decorations, but I left up my tree on purpose because your Christmas tree can now become a winter tree. And I just decorated with some handy acorns, and it brings in some of the nice wintertime inside. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm too tired to do things, don't worry about it. Leave your tree up. Enjoy the seasonality. And we have Valentine's Day coming up in 2 weeks. Cut out some hearts, decorate for Valentine's Day. So you can bring some of the outside, inside for the year and save yourself some time. Another thing you might be having challenges with this time of year is children having too much screen time. And, you know, we're all in the house more than we're used to. And sometimes it's easier for me anyway. You know, we have a rule, no screen time till after lunch, but still sometimes I'm like, I could just use an hour break. So I have for all of you some suggestions and ways that kids can get a little bit of independence. And these are screen-free activities tear-off posters. So all you do is print them out, and they have some great ideas on there for when your kid's like, I'm bored. And I say, good, that's your brain getting some imagination. But they don't like that answer, I can tell you. So this will be a great way to be like, okay, let's do a science experiment. Let's play hide and go seek. At our house, actually, we are playing a game that's actually really good for me, is where my 10-year-old is a wildcat and I have to run like a gazelle. We just do it for like 2 minutes at a time and I run. I'm getting really fast now. I run up those stairs. You got to make sure you have an out to the room, you know, go around the table. It gives you a few minutes exercise. My Fitbit's loving it. And it also gives your child some fun. And you don't have to, 2 adults, you know, go ahead. One's the cat, one run, you'll get your exercise. So these are some great indoor activities for everyone. And so what we are doing today for the children and youth for class, you might be wondering, I've missed all these other fun activities, is we're taking some of the Baha'i children's stories and we're, a lot of them are very much like moral tales, and we're matching up what of our 7 principles matches. And so we're going to be enjoying that today. And with the youth as well, we're going to be looking at some of the differences that we have with the Baha'i faith and some of our similarities, because like our seventh principle, we're in this interdependent web, and how we're all connected is very important. And now I invite Marcia to take us into our centering time.
Our words as we center ourselves this morning were written by the Baha'i prophet Baha'u'llah. Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. Be fair in thy judgment and guarded in thy speech. Be a lamp unto those who walk in darkness and a home to the stranger. Be eyes to the blind and a guiding light unto the feet of the erring. Be a breath of life to the body of humankind, a dew to the soil of the human heart, and a fruit upon the tree of humility.
Let us take time to tend the bonds of care and compassion in our community. We who are gathered in this virtual space this morning each bring our own challenges, concerns, joys, and milestones. We understand ourselves to be part of a vast, interconnected web of existence. What befalls one of us affects us all. As we gather this morning, we acknowledge our many concerns, both personal and in the wider world. Let's each of us take time to name out loud or to hold in our hearts all those who are struggling, including ourselves. Let us name our own fears and struggles. Let us light our candle of concern. In the midst of the challenges of our time, there's also joy. We mark special occasions and find ways to connect and share with one another, albeit at a distance. One way I've been finding contentment, despite separation from so many friends and family members, is by noticing those small things, those little everyday things in life that formerly zipped by my awareness as I rushed around in my busyness. Things like timing of sunrise and sunset. And what are the squirrels doing out there? Still haven't figured that one out. Take time to name out loud, or in the silence of your heart, what you give thanks for and what joys are present for you today. Let us light our candle of joy. Our global candle this morning is for World Religion Day. Although officially January 17th, I'd like to highlight it today because the concept originated with the American Baha'i community in the 1950s, and it has taken on a life of its own internationally. The intent is to offer events which foster understanding and communication between followers of all religions. May it be so. Let us light our global candle. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce Connie Waterman, who has kindly agreed to provide us with a video presentation from her perspective as a member of the Baha'i Faith. Connie is a dedicated member of the Baha'i Faith, serving for almost 50 years as an elected member of the local spiritual assembly in the various communities she has resided in. The areas of service include public affairs officer, marriage registrar, children's education coordinator, and teaching coordinator. She also served on regional and national teaching committees for the Baha'i Faith before retiring to the sleepy town of Comox, British Columbia. Connie served on the Surrey Interfaith Council for many years, and she's currently serving as president of the board of the Multi-Faith Action Society, the oldest interfaith group in the province of British Columbia. Along with hosting forums to encourage interfaith dialogue, the Multi-Faith Action Society produces a multi-faith calendar that is distributed all over North America. And some of you will be familiar with these calendars as they are sold each year by our youth as a fundraiser. Connie's motto is, "It's better to burn out than fade away." And now for Connie Waterman's reflection, Awakening a New Consciousness.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm here in my home alone without someone to help me with the techie part of this presentation. So please bear with me during slide sharing moments. There is a prayer that was revealed by Abdu'l-Baha that asks of God, "Confer upon me a thought that will change this world into a rose garden." I'd like to speak to you today about what that means to me as we struggle to see the will of God at work in a world where so many of the institutions we've held so dear are falling apart and losing their power and their influence. I'd like to explore with you the evolving consciousness of humanity as it travels along its collective journey to the divine. Humanity has reached a stage in its evolution that requires of us radically different modes of thinking and acting from what it needed in order to get to this point in history. Against the backdrop of so many daunting challenges facing humanity, we are being required to refresh our relationship with each other and with God. First, a little background. The beginnings of the Baha'i Faith go back to the birth of its founder in 1817. Baha'u'llah gradually revealed his station over the course of a number of years, starting in 1863 when he was in Baghdad, and told a few members of his family and close associates who he was. And then culminating in a series of letters he wrote to the rulers and kings of the world while in Adrianople, now known as Edirne. In these letters, there is no mistake of his purpose and of who he was, and that his station was that of a manifestation of God. Many of you already know something of this young religion and of its origins. Today, it is the second most widespread religion, embracing people of every culture and race in almost every country. Although there's no clergy, the faith has survived more than 177 years without breaking into sects. Its growth and development have been guided first by its founder, Baha'u'llah. Then, as specifically stated in his will, it was then guided by his son, Abdu'l-Baha, after his death. Then the guardian was appointed by Abdu'l-Baha to guide the faith, again after his death. Baha'u'llah had written in his will that the growth and development of the faith thereafter would be guided by a universal house of justice. This unique institution was first formed in 1963, and the 9 members comprising the institution are elected every 5 years by a democratic process that involves all the followers of Baha'u'llah throughout the world. The quotes I'll be screen sharing are from 3 of these sources: Baha'u'llah, Abdu'l-Baha, and the Universal House of Justice. And I'm stealing some metaphors made by Malik Wilson, who is a visiting faculty fellow at the University of Maryland and who is not a Baha'i. Baha'u'llah's purpose was not to add yet another competing religion to the world, but to bring a fundamental change of consciousness regarding our relationships with one another so that the world could live in unity and peace. The time has come when each human being on earth must learn to accept responsibility for the welfare of the entire human family. Commitment to this revolutionizing principle will awaken in us the latent spiritual and moral capacities that can change this world into another world, and its unity will then be established. I'm going to share with you the first quote. The well-being of mankind, its peace and security, Baha'u'llah writes, are unattainable unless and until its unity is firmly established. We all demonstrate the level of our commitment to this principle by our rectitude of conduct towards others, by the discipline of our own natures, and by our freedom from the prejudices that cripple collective action in the society around us, and that frustrate positive impulses towards change. Against the backdrop of the daunting challenges facing the human family, the Baha'i community, along with their neighbors, is striving to build flourishing communities that support others or support efforts to transform hearts, thereby transforming society. Together, we are striving to bring our thoughts and actions in line with our belief in the oneness of humankind, to free ourselves from attachment to inherited assumptions and preferences that are at odds with the will of God for humanity's coming of age. Let me screen share again. The progress of the world, the development of nations, the tranquility of peoples, and the peace of all who dwell on earth are among the principles and ordinances of God. Do not be satisfied until each one with whom you are concerned is to you as a member of your family, Regard each one as either as a father or as a brother or as a sister or as a mother or as a child. If you can attain to this, your difficulties will vanish. You will know what to do. So where do we start? How do we start? We start at the level of friendship. The concept that civilizations can be built on fellowship is worth exploring. Friendship is something that supports all of humanity, all civilizations. What we learn from our friendships can give us an idea of what the global community is capable of. Who do I invite into my home? Who hangs out with me? Who am I vulnerable with? Do my friends look and talk like me? Am I just talking in an echo chamber? Friendship is not easy. It requires patience, deep listening, sincerity, an open heart. It requires cultivation. It is a private human endeavor that requires hard work in order to become a true friend. It is an adventure. And as you put the work in, mysteries within each other are unraveled. In time, trust and respect is built. We need to put on the kitchen gloves and ask for overtime, to quote Malik Wilson. Show up and put in the work. You will be better for it, he says. Go out and look for diversity. I'd like to screen share again. Ultimately, the power to transform the world is effected by love. Love originating from the relationship with the divine, love ablaze among the members of a community, love extended without restrictions to every human being. This divine love, ignited by the Word of God, is disseminated by enkindled souls through intimate conversations that create new susceptibilities in human hearts, open minds to moral persuasion, and loosen the hold on biased norms and social systems so that they can gradually take on a new form in keeping with the requirements of humanity's age of maturity. For Baha'is, the ultimate issues facing humanity are spiritual. The Baha'i faith is a religion, not a political party, nor an ideology, much less an engine for political agitation against this or that wrong. True religion, Baha'u'llah says, must be the cause of fellowship and love. When it is used as an excuse to cause discord and hatred, he says it is better to be abandoned. Baha'u'llah teaches that all religions are connected. The cause of God embraces all religions. That religions have appeared in different locations and at different times throughout history, and have each advanced the hearts and minds of people and society to prepare it for a time when the whole world can embrace its oneness and live in unity and peace. God did not intend differing religions to be in competition with each other, or to be set on a buffet table for us to pick and choose what we like. Religion is verily the chief instrument for the establishment of order in the world and of tranquility amongst its peoples. We might ask ourselves, am I letting religion keep me separate from others? Am I forming true friendships with followers of a religion that is different from mine? Seeing each person the way God sees us, as a divine creation, takes work. On the other hand, do I keep myself aloof from others? Do we keep our beauty, our God-given gifts to ourselves when the world needs the input and participation of everyone, even us, in order to come up with solutions? Do we stand on the hill and say, I'm not coming down, I'm not sharing with you? And if so, all we're doing is rearranging the cans on the shelf and not rebuilding the house. Again, I'm stealing from Malik Wilson. Let me share another quote with you. Cooperation, mutual aid, and reciprocity are essential characteristics in the unified body of the world of being. The stronger the ties of fellowship and solidarity amongst men, the greater will be the power of constructiveness and accomplishment in all the planes of human activity. The followers of Baha'u'llah strive to put his teachings into practice in order to transform our lives, to transform our inner lives, and we strive to learn how to apply his teachings in our outer lives as well, so that the spirit of cooperation, mutual aid, and reciprocity can be manifested in our neighborhood, our region, our country, and ultimately on a global level. Baha'is are working within a clear framework where they put forth a massive effort aided by deep reflection, resolute action, training, inspiration, and encouragement to learn how to create an environment conducive to the transformation of neighborhoods. Through transformation at this level in neighborhoods all over the world, communities are acquiring the capacity to collaborate, to accompany one another on their journey, and to share what they have and what they know. We imagine a time when every neighborhood is working to this end. This is important work. The cause of international peace is the responsibility of each of us. And the honor and distinction of the individual consists in this, that he among all the world's multitudes should become a source of social good. Is any larger bounty conceivable than this? That an individual, looking within himself, should find that by the confirming grace of God, he has become the cause of peace and well-being, of happiness and advantage to his fellow men? No, by the one true God, there is no greater bliss, no more complete delight. During this time when the world has been shut down due to COVID-19, the Baha'is have continued their community building work, and like so many people, groups, and organizations, are finding creative ways to come together, for instance, in prayer. Even during the winter, people gathered in parks or backyards when the health authorities allowed it, or by conference calls, FaceTime, or Zoom. These spaces are open to followers of every faith or who follow no faith. In these spaces, prayer and the study of sacred scripture is often followed by uplifting conversations that serve to deepen our resolve and give us the strength to persevere, to be steadfast in our faith, to provide insights into how to best serve humanity. These are safe spaces for individuals to connect in a sacred way. An awakening of consciousness is a process. No one can say with confidence that I am now enlightened, and I am enlightened to the needs of this age. We can, however, accompany one another on this most remarkable transformation journey towards bringing peace and unity to a sorely tried world. Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words, that ye may unravel its secrets and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid in its depths. Followers of Baha'u'llah turn humbly to God in prayer and read from the sacred writings at least twice a day as part of their individual spiritual practice. From this practice, we receive inspiration and guidance for our inner and our outer transformation, to help us to learn how to close our eyes to this world and open them to worlds that are spiritually glorious. I'd like to end with this quote put into a music.
Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words, that ye may unravel its secrets and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid in its depths. Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words, that ye may unravel its secrets and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid in its depths. Immerse yourself in its depths. Immerse yourself in its Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words. Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words.
Thank you so much.
Warm thanks to Connie Waterman for bringing us these beautiful challenges and encouragement this morning to be better as individuals and as community together. I noticed that Connie is in attendance at our service this morning, so welcome, Connie, and thank you for being here with us this morning. We appreciate it. Part of what Connie was speaking about a moment ago had to do with being together and in friendship and in community, listening deeply and sharing deeply of ourselves. And our next song speaks to that, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Let's sing together. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing
And now our offering that I introduce with the words of Kristen Collins, slightly modified. Well, the words are slightly modified, not Kristen. We give to remind ourselves of how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and a place we deem sacred. We give with the faith that together we all have enough. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. So when we give, we say yes to something that we value. Any contributions will be deeply appreciated. Thank you.
My closing words this morning are excerpted from words quoted more fully by Connie Waterman in her reflections this morning. They are from the Baha'i Universal House of Justice. Ultimately, the power to transform the world is effected by love. Love originating from the relationship to the divine, love ablaze among members of a community. Love extended without restriction to every human being.
As people of faith, all of us are called to build a better world together, and part of that is about answering the call of love. Let's sing together. The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide. And so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call.
We extinguish our chalice with these words by Abdul Baha, expressing the essence of the Baha'i faith. Strive that your actions day by day may be beautiful prayers. Turn towards God and seek always to do that which is right and noble. Enrich the poor, raise the fallen, comfort the sorrowful, bring healing to the sick, reassure the fearful, rescue the oppressed, bring hope to the hopeless, shelter the destitute, strive. May we also, as Unitarian Universalists, continue to strive in our efforts to make this world a better place. Let us now extinguish our chalice.
As we strive to build community together, it is both our task and our great joy to spend time together, hearing each other's stories and sharing some of our own. Even in this virtual universe, we can do that through, amongst other ways, our virtual coffee time, which is coming up shortly. We welcome everyone, whether it's your first time with us today or you've been with us for quite a while now, to join us for a virtual coffee. To get to coffee hour, what you'll need to do in a moment is to click on the Leave Meeting button on your screen. The next screen that comes up in your browser will have a picture of a purple coffee mug. So click on the mug and you will be ushered into coffee hour to spend time in a small group of 4 or 5 people talking together. And we do hope you'll join us. Now, let's sing together our closing benediction, Spirit of Life.